Tonight, we are
It's an expansion,
to
though.
share with you
Yeah.
another global game announcement. This comes from one of the most decorated developers in the world, who consistently pushes this medium forward for each of its releases. This studio has been nominated multiple times for Game of the Year
Bugsnax 2.
this very show, and I am beyond grateful that they have chosen the Game Awards as the place for this global announcement.
He's hyping this one up for some reason. Like more than normal. Armored Core. Armored Core. Bamco? It could be. Bamco publishes FromSoft stuff. I think it's Armored Core. Red dot. You don't see glowing stuff in FromSoft or in Dark Souls like that.
No. That's like the furtive pygmy, dude. I think this is.
Yeah, it's shot very similarly to a Dark Souls cutscene, but it's obviously urban. This is the Armored Core game. If they even call it that. It might be a secure situation where it started out being like a Tenchu, but then they changed it. It might have started out being Armored Core, and then they changed it because it ended up being too different to call it Armored Core. I already love the music direction.
It's got that new metal.
Please be more than that.
That can't be it.
Okay, thank you. Can't believe my big brain prediction was true.
Is like, they say this is like Dark Souls sounding stuff, but this is funny. I know it's not. I'm just saying it's like.
I can't wait for a whole generation of people to be reminded that they make games other than Dark Souls.
Yeah.
It looks so good. This is just as good as the other Armored Core cinematics. It's as if no time passed. Like, I was kind of worried maybe they'd be rusty with the mechanical stuff, but they're not at all.
Yeah, this looks gnarly, man. Jesus.
What's funny is the art director they have, the art director that they use for the Armored Core games, he was like a mechanical engineer or something, but then dropped out right at the end to become like an art guy. And so what was he doing during this whole time in which they were just making medieval fantasy games? It is Armored Core 6. Straight up just calling it Armored Core 6. It's not like a Tenchu Sekiro thing.
Yeah. Wow.
Guys, I'm telling you, I'm going to play that game a lot. I might even speedrun it. I know with the Dark Souls games, I typically just play through them once, and then other people do like no-hit runs and stuff. For this, I might be one of those people.
When we come back.
Okay, so let's rewatch this so I can actually pause it and play it and pause it and play it and actually look at what's being shown instead of just talking over it. If you haven't seen the other Armored Core cinematics, you have to go watch them. Armored Core 4 cinematics.
Yeah.
It's like cream of the crop mecha stuff. Yeah, it really does look like the furtive pygmy scene.
Yeah.
And you know what? That leak has to have been true. Because in that leak, they said that it was like a big snowy area with these giant, like, monolithic, like, structures and walls. Yeah. And after this whole, like, apocalyptic scene here, and it shows an actual mech, they're in a snowy area. And in that same leak, they said that it was like a mech game, like Armored Core, when you're running around shooting, but then when you do melee, it switches to, like, Souls melee.
It looks like it covered all in ash, like the...
Yeah, maybe they just... The thing is, though, it was someone reporting what he saw. So it might literally be ash, but he probably just assumed it was snow. But I think you're right about it being ash. Because I think that's literally the same exact place. Now that you mention it. It's a cool shot, because it's like a bunch of leading lines. Bunch of leading lines on the right, but they're all leading to like empty space.
Yeah.
Like the negative space is the focal point, since like that's where a bomb or something just happened.
What's the lore in never mind. That's probably a lot in Armored Core.
It's actually not that straightforward.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's probably a lot though.
Why is this being all choppy? I'm wondering if me recording a 3.5. Huh?
YouTube channel?
Gampo Europe, yeah.
Okay.
Is the upload actually laggy like that? When he picks up the might be YouTube being weird. What the heck? It went from
music's so much different than what they normally make too.
You need to go listen to Armored Core music because it is some of the weirdest sounding stuff ever. And there's so much like variety and range to it. It's weird. Why is this not loading?
That's just you, man. Mine's fine.
Okay, there. YouTube's just being weird. Let the last enders burn. I've been saying this. Okay, there we go. Such a nice composition on these shots.
Yeah.
YouTube is being so weird, and I'm wondering if it's because I might be running out of space on my computer after recording a video for that long.
60 FPS and everything too.
I love how in this cinematic as well, but even in the other Armored Core cinematics, I'm glad this element's returning. How they kind of skate around. You can feel the momentum. You can really feel the weight of the mechs in these cinematics because, like, when they land, they keep moving. For example, like that. That's good cinematography. I don't really know if there's much to say other than it just being really good cinematography.
Yeah, definitely.
Like they know exactly what to focus on when it comes to like all this mechanical stuff, like showing the thrusters right before they ignite, or like showing the gun like as it's transforming right before it starts shooting.
Yeah, definitely very art centric.
And it's really impressive that they're able to have the art direction of something like this so good when it's otherwise so real robot, right? Because Armored Core is a very gray franchise. It's very gray and has a lot of like realistic, quote, realistic mechanical design. So I feel like if any other developer tried to do something like that, it would end up looking really drab and boring.
Yeah, it really is. I think it's just because they have art always on the forefront of their mind, how things are going to look. How it's going to look for the player, how it's going to look for any of the cinematics either, I feel like a lot of other gray, red, and orange people just don't understand that, I guess. I don't know.
When it shows the eye and you can see the things moving, like it's changing the aperture or something.
Yeah.
What's cool is when it puts the face shield over its eyes, the face shield then lights up with a bunch of little lights. So it's like, okay, it still needs to see, so it's just putting a face shield on and then bunch of smaller cameras on it. It's so good. Okay, it's literally just a cinematic trailer, so I can't really analyze the gameplay or anything. There's not really much to take from it in terms of the lore or anything.
I'm just gonna assume that they're gonna deliver, man.
So
FromSoft is one of those people.
I know I said this during the Game Awards show after the trailer, but I'm going to be uploading this as a highlight, like I said, so I'm just going to repeat myself and say when this game comes out, I'm going to be playing it a lot. Like, I know when it comes to Dark Souls games, I usually play through them once and then I move on to other things, whereas other people like to replay Dark Souls games and try doing no-hit runs or challenge runs or speed runs or things like that. But I'm probably going to at least speed run this game because this is something that's made specifically for me. And I'll probably be putting that on the Gundam channel, actually. But anyways, let me know what you guys...
Armored Core lore YouTube channel is going to be getting a lot of people watching.
Yeah. I wonder if people like Vati are going to transition to that.
I don't know.
Because like a whole generation of people are going to be reminded that, oh, FromSoft actually makes other things besides medieval fantasy. So anyways, let me know what you guys think about that. This was probably the highlight of the Game Awards to me, obviously, right? I mean, my highlights would be whatever that Crash thing was, but they didn't really show much of it, so I don't really know if I should be excited. And Street Fighter, but that was already leaked beforehand, and I've already played Street Fighter, but this was like a complete new announcement aside from that one leak. But it was just a matter of like how it would look and if it would actually be announced as Armored Core or something else. Like I said, with how Sekiro was originally meant to be Tenchu, but then they renamed it because it ended up being too different from Tenchu. But this is just straight up Armored Core 6, which is pretty bold in terms of the direction, right? Because they're saying they're pretty much just picking up right where they left off, which is pretty exciting. That's cool. So that'll be the end of the Armored Core reaction video. So thanks for watching, everyone, and bye for now.